Motion by Mr. Gray, got a second by Mr. Edwards. Got any discussion on that? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Do we have any additions to the agenda, board? No additions. Board, I'm gonna ask that we move, in other business, I wanna, Ben Torres with TSBA is here tonight to speak to us, so I'd like to, with y'all's permission, move him up to right behind Student of the Month. If that's okay, I'd like to go with that. With that addition, I'll just take a motion to approve that. We have a motion? Motion by Mr. Edwards, got a second. Second by Mr. McCann. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. We'll move, Torres up to item 7, item number 6. Dr. Bird, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Well, tonight, just so you know, Dr. Combs is sick. He had a migraine today, so he had to go home a little early, so I think he fought the weather enough, and so he went home. So Dr. Bird is gonna be in his stay tonight. So Dr. Bird, if you'll present our Teacher of the Month and Student of the Month.
Thank you. All right, we'll start with our Students of the Month representing elementary school. We have Paisley DeVaughn from Brighton Elementary School, so if Paisley will come up. Paisley is a 5th grader at Brighton Elementary, and Miss Tamika Poindexter and Miss Jennifer Schofer, who is your teacher, recommended you for Student of the Month. And this is what they said about you. Paisley is an exceptional student who consistently demonstrates responsibility and leadership. She participates fully in every class and is always willing to lend a helping hand. Whether she's working in the library, office, or birthday club, she approaches every task with a positive attitude and kindness toward everyone she meets. Paisley also excels academically, earning the top grade in both math and science on the benchmark assessment. She is truly an outstanding young lady and a shining example of what it means to be a BES Cardinal. And she was selected for her cooperation and work ethic, leadership, her consideration of others, outstanding attitude, outstanding grades, and being a positive role model for other students. So Paisley, congratulations. Great job. Our middle school student of the month is Mr. Sam Pickett. Sam, if you will come up. All right, Sam is a 7th grader at Munford Middle School and was selected for Student of the Month for his cooperation, work ethic, his outstanding attitude, and being a positive role model for other students. And his principal, Dr. Conkus, writes that Sam Pickett is an all-around great student and great kid. He works hard in class with good grades and is liked by all of his teachers and his peers. Sam is a quiet leader, demonstrating leadership and a positive attitude. Sam is one of the students who demonstrates what it means to be a Munford Cougar. Congratulations, Sam. And then our high school student of the month from Covington High School, 11th grader, Takira Body. Congratulations. And she was selected to be Student of the Month because of her cooperation and work ethic, leadership, outstanding attitude, outstanding grades, and serving as a positive role model for other students. It is without reservation that I, and this is from your principal, Ms. McGlown, that I recommend Takira for Covington High School Student of the Month and Tipton County School Student of the Month. Takira is a starting member of the Covington High School basketball team and consistently demonstrates exceptional leadership, both on and off the court. She leads by example through her work ethic, discipline, and commitment to excellence, earning the respect of her teammates, coaches, and peers. Beyond athletics, her leadership positively influences the overall climate and culture of Covington High School. She is a natural leader, driven, accountable, and supportive of those around her. Academically, she excels with a 3.91 GPA, reflecting her dedication to her studies and her ability to balance the demands of rigorous academics with competitive athletics. She truly represents the standards of excellence we strive to cultivate at Covington High School. Congratulations. And lastly, our Teacher of the Month. And we have Miss Heather Daniel from Brighton Elementary School. So Miss Daniel, congratulations. teaches first grade. This is, she has taught for 13 years. And her principal writes, Heather Daniel consistently demonstrates dedication, patience, and a genuine love for teaching. She builds strong relationships with her students and creates a classroom environment where every child feels valued and supported. Heather approaches each day with positivity and grace, and her ability to remain calm, caring, and committed reflects the heart of an exceptional educator. She is truly making a difference for her students. Congratulations, Ms. Daniel. Thank you.
Thank y'all, thank y'all, parents, administrators, thank y'all, students, thank y'all for your hard work and your dedication to just your studies and to the schools, and we thank you so much for being here. You can stay if you want to, or you can dismiss however you want to do, so we'll give y'all, thank y'all for coming in, we appreciate y'all. Awesome, thank you. Board, we'll go ahead and continue with our agenda tonight. Next up, well, I've got Mr. Ventoria. Ben, if you'll come on up and.
Thanks, sir.
So board, as Ben passes his packets out, so we asked Ben to come tonight because, as you know, we voted, we didn't vote, but in December, Dr. Combs, he submitted his, well, not resignation, but his retirement letter, and he'll be retiring in June, at the end of June right now. So our job right now is to find a new superintendent, right? And so that is the reason why we call TSBA, and they offer these services, and and you guys all know Ben. He's done a tremendous job for us and teaching us and keeping us on the right track. So got Ben to come down here from Nashville to at least line this process out for us and put it before y'all as to how we want to move forward with this, okay? Ben, thanks for coming.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And I would say the first part of the meeting, that was certainly the highlight. It's always good to see the great things happening. So thank you all for having me. I appreciate it, and certainly thank you for moving me up in the agenda.
You're welcome.
I certainly appreciate that. So in front of you, you have a few pieces of paper. I kind of want to orient you to what you have. On the right side is our superintendent search service. It's a packet of information that we're going to walk through to kind of highlight the process. And on the left side, we drafted a few different options as far as timelines are concerned with the search process. So depending on what you all want to do, we provided some of those options for you. So you all right now are probably faced with one of the biggest decisions you all will make. It's not every day that you have to get a new superintendent, but it is probably the biggest decision that you will make this year, if not your time on the board. It's picking that superintendent. So our job is to help you any way we can. We do offer a search service. There's a couple different options in here, but more importantly, we want to walk you through the process of what that looks like. So the first thing, if you kind of look in the packet, that's the first page, just general consultation. Here just to answer questions, not only about our service, but the search process and hiring a new superintendent in general. The next thing on page 2, adoption of timelines and procedures. Whether you use us, whether you do a search yourself, that's one of the things you're going to have to look at and to establish as a timeline. You may have a date in mind or a goal date of when you want to have a new superintendent. We'll say, with it being an election year, there's the blackout period that exists. So 45 days prior, 30 days following the general school board election, you cannot hire a permanent superintendent. So if you do not make a decision 45 days prior, then you have to wait till 30 days following, which is around September, beginning of September. So every 2 years that pops up, so you're kind of faced with that. I don't want to necessarily call it an obstacle, but that's something you certainly have to be aware of and develop your timeline around that. Now, as you go through this, our search service, and I think the easiest thing to do, honestly, is turn to page 6. We offer a couple different options if you choose to use us. Plan 1 is a basic plan. Plan 1 is where we publish a descriptive brochure about the position that you all complete. The brochure really contains 3 major things. The first item it contains, it's your minimum qualifications. So you as a board in board policy have minimum qualifications for your superintendent. Most of the time, boards want someone with a teaching license, administrative experience, and a master's degree. That's the general qualifications. Those are your minimums. And I call them minimum qualifications because when you conduct a search, those are the minimum things you gotta look for. On top of that, you have something called, I like to call them characteristics. What are the things you're looking for in your next superintendent? Are you looking for somebody that has extensive budget experience? Are you looking for somebody that has extensive experience with CTE programs? Maybe you wanna do something there. It's those other items outside the minimum qualifications that you wanna see in your next leader. So we publish the brochure, we send it out, and then we receive the credentials. So we have an online application software that allows the individuals to go in, complete a profile, fill out demographic information. It also contains some questions regarding conflicts of interest, sex offender registry, those basic questions that have to be asked. So we also have them submit a resume, cover letter, references, a copy of their license, transcripts. Those are submitted through the system. We collect all of those, and then we give it back to you all. At that point, you all finalize the selection process. Out of the candidates that apply, which of the individuals do you want to interview? So that's really plan one. Plan two, it's a little bit more in detail. So everything in plan one, but when it comes down to it, we help you with a number of those items that you would be doing on your own in plan one. Specifically, we conduct a community survey. We take the results of the survey, we bring them back to the board, and then we help you all put together that brochure with the minimum qualifications and the characteristics based on your feedback and the community's feedback. So the survey consists of 21 questions, and those 21 questions deal with 21 different characteristics, if you will. A open door policy, good communicator, works well with others, those types of things. What's important to the community? But it also has open-ended questions. We have 3 survey questions. What are the good things happening in the community? What are the challenges? What would you like to see in the next superintendent? We collect all that survey data and we bring it back to you all. You get to see everything verbatim, word for word. I will say the only thing we take out, at times we've seen some profanity. We'll take that out. Besides that, everything is verbatim. So I just wanted to mention that. Based on that brochure, and if you approve that brochure, then we advertise. We send it out nationally, we send it out statewide as well. We collect the resumes, the applications, and then we vet them. We do reference checks. We look at past work history. We vet the candidates and compare them to the characteristics that you all put into place. And we will recommend up to 3 for you all to interview. Those 3 that we also recommend that you all interview, we do a background check. It's a limited background check. But the key thing that we check for, we do the national criminal search. We do educational background checks to make sure that whatever educational background they state on their resume, they actually have those credentials. We found that is very important, especially talking to other associations in other states. So that is one thing that we do that helps. So we bring those candidates back to you all, and you all can accept those candidates, reject those candidates. At the end of the day, you get to pick what happens. It's your search. We're just here to help. So hopefully you would accept those recommendations, interview the candidates, and make a determination from there. So that's kind of an overview. And if you look at the different options, those 2 pieces of paper, it's really reflective of the 2 things in the plans. Plan 1, or option 1, and then option 2. Option 1, you all are doing a lot of the work. We're just collecting the resumes. and then we're bringing it back to you all. And that could be a viable plan. Plan 2, it's a little bit longer just because we do the community survey. Now, to be frank, it depends on the type of search you want to do too. If you want to do a national search versus a local search, that would, if you're going to do something local or regional, you may not need everything in Plan 2. Plan 1 may work for you. So ultimately, do what's best for you all, what you all feel is important for the community. I mean, this is a big decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, you're gonna have to do something. So whether it's us or on your own, you're gonna have to do something.
Okay. For the record, because we had people tuning in the state of Tennessee for the superintendent search, the golden rule for doing that search, is it just TSBA? How many have y'all done? Is this kind of standard for y'all? Kind of make me feel better about that.
Right. Well, for instance, we have 2 going on right now. We're doing Greenville City and Campbell County. If you actually look at the very back of the packet, it has the actual list of superintendent searches. So in 2025, we did 5, in 2024, 2. 2023 and 2022 were big years. We had several. So, and I encourage you, call them.
Nice.
Call the board chairs, ask them what they think, if they liked it or didn't like it, by all means. Please reach out to them. But we conduct searches on a pretty regular basis. I would say this time of the year though is more common than other times of the year.
So you're versed at the process.
This is not the first time.
I have one small other additional question. In that process in the state of Tennessee, if we were to do a national, the local, and that, is that what you said, local, national?
Yeah, depending on what you all want to do. Yeah.
In other schools that have done that, how overwhelmed were y'all? And I know it just kind of depends on the school, but if you took an average school and,
I would say
what are we predicting, kind of like how many people are we gonna weed through?
it depends on the district.
Okay.
There are some districts we've had over 20 applicants. There are some districts we've had 7. I will say, pay is always a question, whether it's worth someone moving. We've had some individuals that were very qualified for positions, but they didn't want to move because they had a home, they had to get a new mortgage, they had a 2% interest rate. This was an actual example. Going to a higher interest rate, when you run the numbers, yes, they're getting paid more, but there's also costs associated with it. So pay is always a factor, certainly, but it just depends on the district. Now, I will say, even when we do searches, you have the same individuals that will always apply to every search. So in some cases, you're gonna get, they apply here, they apply in other states, but.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Torres? Alicia? Loretta or Jason, y'all have any questions? Any questions? Big thumbs up. Jason's comes off. Big service.
Loretta questions.
Bless his heart.
Loretta.
Go ahead, Loretta.
You're on mute. You're muted.
I'm good. Ryan?
Yeah. Loretta was trying to speak, Mr. Jenkins. Loretta, did you have something to say?
Her mic's off. I think your mic's off.
Yep,
Yeah,
got
there
you.
you go.
Are you there?
There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess, I'm sorry about that. My question, because you were kind of fading in and out, but on the search timeline, I know it can vary. I think that's what you said, it can vary, but typically what kind of timeline? I mean,
Typically, it's usually 3 to 4 months, typically. But that will depend ultimately on the board. If the board's willing to meet when they need to meet outside of regular board meetings, it can be done in a shorter timeline. If the board just wants to meet during regular board meetings, it's gonna extend that out.
So board, got any other questions on that, Loretta?
I'm good, thank you.
Just give them a second. All right, so you'll see, option one, option two, right? I think one's a little quicker timeline, one's a little bit more, longer, probably by a month or so. One's probably more internal, one's external, national, right, as far as the looking, what we're looking for there as your superintendent, So hopefully, you're able to understand that you see the timeline here of the search, which I think is critical, in the sense that we would like to do this before the blackout period, and since Dr. Combs is going to be retiring in June. So I think that's critical, but also if you'll look at too, is again, hopefully you understand, I don't think the cost is the big issue there for us, but it's, what is it you wanna see there, plan one or plan two from TSBA.
We're saying plan one is option one, plan two is option two.
Yeah.
And I see option three, but we didn't really talk, is that just us not doing anything?
I think that's correct, yeah, I think,
Option three, really the big difference is, there's a little bit more with options three, but I think most boards go with two, to be honest. They get better feedback with option two.
What kind of dates are we looking at with this blackout period for the election, 45 days prior? That's gonna squeeze us in.
Usually mid-June.
Yeah.
Mid-June.
That's gonna.
Yeah, which is, it's critical. And so if you'll see your dates here, a lot of that will either correspond with a board meeting, the first board meeting of the month, and then some will correspond with work sessions as well, okay? So, because we meet twice a month, we're able to do this a little bit, quicker, more efficient, I think, as well, so. Board, go ahead.
I think personally from everything Ben just said, because we're gonna be working with the superintendent hand in hand, I think, not so much, yes, our decision, but if we can have the process kind of hands off on us for the time being, fresh eyes, looking at all the criteria that we submit, the candidates, the legitimacy of the candidates, vetting them was huge. I thought like that. I would say I would prefer to go with TSBA for sure, just because, it looks better. And they're coming in from a fresh standpoint, and you only got a dog in any fight, you do it with the whole state. So in the end, it's our decision, you're just gonna put forth who y'all think the best 3, 5, 7 candidates are. Is that correct?
It's purely a recommendation.
Okay.
You all make the decision on everything. It's your search.
So where you gotta make a decision tonight with a motion is, do you wanna go internal, external? And then do you want to go with TSBA services? All right, we gotta make a decision whether we go TSBA services or we do basically your own HR, right? Basically, and how you wanna do that, right? We can do it ourselves, I highly recommend we don't.
Right.
As far as, just because I don't have time to do that. I know y'all don't either, but, so we gotta make a decision, do we wanna go internal, external, as far as finding our candidate? And then are we going to use, TSBA services as well, and which service that's gonna be, so.
I'll make the motion that we use the TSBA services for this superintendent search.
So, all right, let me clear that, let's clear that up just a little bit. I wanna make sure the motion's correct, right? Because which one are you making the motion on?
I would say probably plan two. So plan two.
So you're gonna make the motion?
Does that one stay, is plan two internal?
Generally, if you're gonna do internal, it's plan one.
Plan one?
That would be the most appropriate.
Okay, I wanna clarify that. I think we have enough candidates within our district that could easily handle this position. So, I guess my motion would be, that we utilize TSBA to find our superintendent based on plan one and remain in district for the superintendent search. Would that be correct, or am I molding two into one?
Let's do the one motion first, is that I wanna make sure that we're clear on the motion.
Right.
Your TSBA plan one, you're making the motion that we use TSBA plan one, right, for the search for the superintendent.
That's correct.
So that motion's on the floor.
That's
This is not internal, external, this is just that plan that, mostly this will align with internal, but I wanna make sure that motion is clear to the board is that Mr. Gray brought the motion is that Plan 1, which is $3,000, which is the more limited plan that TSBA will do, that's the one, that's the first motion, I have to have a second. Second by Mr. Edwards, now discussion. Any questions?
I mean, the Plan 1 puts a lot more burden on us versus what the Plan 2 is, that.
Mhm.
The burden being what? Mr.
The burden being, with Plan 1, the burden, you all would develop the characteristics. We would receive the applications and resumes, but you all would vet the candidates. You would call references, you would, do the credentials check,
Is the word transparency, appropriate?
Oh,
It's more transparent, which way?
either way,
To the general public?
either way, it's transparent. Even when we receive the applications, whether it's Plan 1 or Plan 2, every Friday, you're gonna get an update on everybody that applies. Once somebody submits, it's public record, so usually we just work, if there's any local media, we just say, hey, if you want, just email since we can send you the information. So it's transparent across the board.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I think what I was getting to was that, we all agree that we wanna handle a fair and just process. And the word transparency they used was making sure that our constituents see us doing it properly.
Yeah.
And to where maybe they're meeting between myself and LaBelle talking about hunting isn't misconstrued about a superintendent
Right.
search.
Right. I would say Plan 2, we take care of a lot more legwork. We receive the applications. We vet the candidates. We make recommendations. We do a lot more of the legwork, and then we present to you all the top candidates that we feel best meet what you're looking for, as opposed to Plan 1 where you all are looking for going through all that yourself. But the reason Plan 1 works better with internal, if you're taking people from within the system, a lot of that legwork in Plan 2 is not necessarily needed. So for instance, if you're taking people from within the system, you've already got background checks on those individuals done. You already have the education credentials, those are done. You already know the individual, so it's not the same legwork if you're doing internal as it would be if you're looking just for anyone to apply.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need a nationwide search, you know what I mean, I think we all agree on that, so that's what you're saying, if you're sticking with the internal, you're recommending the Plan.
I would recommend Plan 1 because a lot of those things we do in Plan 2, you already have.
Yep.
Because you're taking current staff and, I mean, they have employee files, background checks, all those things.
Can I ask the chairman a question?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And maybe some people need earmuffs right now. Do we have enough candidates internally? I don't know the answer to
Let's
that.
define, we'll have to define enough.
Okay,
I would have to define, what would be enough, I guess, more than one, more than two?
I know of 2. Do we have any others?
I can't answer that based on the qualifications that are gonna be set by the board.
Okay.
Okay? So
I don't wanna see us back ourselves on a corner and limit, and especially since we haven't gotten to the qualifications too. And then I would also remind the board that we're real proximal to a lot of other areas, districts and schools and stuff. We're not on remote island to ourselves, although I would prefer internal myself. I don't wanna back ourselves into a corner where it looks like we're self-selecting.
Well, and that's, I think that's a point that you can make, I would probably, yeah, okay, I think that's a fair point to make, so I think we have to make a decision here, right, so any other discussion? Motion's on the floor, by the way, motion's on the floor for option 1, TSBA option 1, right, we have it, which co-aligns with typically an internal search for our superintendent, correct? All right, so that motion is on the floor, and we're still debating that motion at this point. Do we have any more debate at this point?
Only thing I would say is my fear going outside is you don't want somebody to come in here and try to, we've got a lot of momentum going right now with these schools and everything, we've got a great board in place. I just don't wanna see, I've seen it in past careers that I've been in where a director or a supervisor's brought in from out of state or out of county, whatever. They come in and try to put their own foot stamp on it, and it just messes up everything, and everything just goes apart. That's my biggest fear, is somebody coming here and breaking what's not broke. That's why I like the internal option best.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
And I agree with that, Richard, what you said, ultimately, our decision's gonna be our decision.
Yeah.
Who we hire. I also think it's, there are plenty of qualified people within our school system.
Absolutely.
But we can't just choose somebody that don't want the position either. So
True.
that's, and then this goes along with what you just asked, Mike, how many people do we have within our school system district that are gonna want to try to apply for the superintendent job? And to the point you just made, I don't think, even if we did a regional search, it doesn't matter if they want the job or not, we still choose who we want. But it could muddy up the water too.
I'll say that based on things that have been said here tonight and based off of the regional search and what I hear from an internal, external, I thought about this. From my constituent standpoint, from what I'm hearing in the community is, I don't see us wasting the time to go nationally nor external from the standpoint of, I've not heard anybody say that we don't have the qualified candidates within our own community to make these decisions and to superintend. So whoever that may be, but I've not had anyone say, well, we're lacking qualified folks, adequate qualified folks in our community alone. And so, just for that matter alone, I don't think within this county, we sit in a position where we have to look outside of our county or nationally. That's just Blake's opinion based on the constituents that I've talked to and who I represent as well. So, do y'all have anything, Jason or Loretta, any comments on the debate?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I too feel like doing this internal is probably best equipment, just as, you've seen things like that happen outside of, school district operations and it's bad for too. But I think we have qualified candidates within our county, I would feel like, to be able to look at that.
Thank you. Mr. Jenkins, you're unmuted. Do you have anything?
I believe we have, we have plenty of candidates in I believe in our county, we try to find somebody just as well, do the job as she well.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. So, board, any more debate? Anything?
Just have one
Yes.
other question.
Yes,
The only thing that strikes me, I think it was something you said or Blake said, I can't remember, but have we set the restraints and the requirements for who's qualified, who's not? Is that already in our policy? Is that what we're going off of?
Those would be in your current policy. I think off the top of my head, I think it might be 5.802.
Okay.
Your minimum requirements, maybe 5.801, but I can't, it's 5.801.
Because those that do have, I feel like, again, I said this earlier, but I feel like we may limit ourselves if we make a decision tonight and we don't have enough qualified candidates. I don't want to see us get into a situation, but if we all think that we do, and I am 100% in agreement taking them from Tipton County, I just would hate to slow the process down and say, hey,
Well, and I can pull it up real quick. I'm looking at you again. We're doing personnel, under personnel. Yeah, 5.802, right. Qualifications and duties of directors of schools.
And I believe is it the second paragraph that has minimum qualifications?
Just a second. Our internet's
Oh, yeah.
it's really fast here.
A professional educator's license, master's degree in education with a preference for a doctorate, 3 years of successful experience in school administration, and such other qualifications as the board deems desirable. Those are your minimum
so we have a
qualifications.
bunch of those.
Bare minimum at that, absolutely. Right. Yeah, bare minimum. And then we will, at our next meeting, we'll make sure that those qualifications, are beyond that. who the next superintendent will be, right? We'll drill that down and define that even more. So absolutely, I think without a shadow of a doubt, we have the bare minimum qualifications, amongst the multitude of educators within our school district, so. Any more debate? If not, then motion's on the floor. Motion on the floor for TSBA's Plan 1, for superintendent search, which would coincide with the internal, aspect of the search. So do we have, all in favor, say aye? Is there any opposed? I've got eyes on, Alicia's not able to vote, by the way, because she's not able to be visible, but I've got eyes from, both, Jason and Loretta as well, so, any opposed? Well, that motion passed, so, thank you, Mr. Torres, we appreciate that, so we'll, with that, option 1, we will go forward with, we'll be in contact with you, if you will send us an email or send Dr. Combs or send me, I guess probably the best way I'm trying to figure out, I can't communicate with them, probably best send Dr. Combs, I think, an email as to what our next steps are. And we will adopt our criteria board in our work session, January 28th. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, and so you'll just give us the next steps.
Yep, I would recommend, approving, if you're gonna go with option 1, approving this timeline, to establish the timeline. That way you establish not only, your meeting dates, but the application deadline date, which will be February 20th. So you establish that, and then you have a set timeline.
So that would be option 1. So for those that are on the camera or virtually, Jason and Loretta, just can y'all hear me okay? All right, just so we're clear, the way the timeline works is January 28th, we'll adopt the criteria, okay, for the superintendent. And then between January 28th and February 24th, TSBA will search the candidates, they'll receive the resumes, and then February 24th, we will select the candidates. March 12th, we will interview the candidates. And then by, the goal would be by March 31st, we offer a contract if those things come into place, okay? Does that make sense? And then they'll assume the role, the superintendent will assume the position by July 1st, okay? So board, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So, according to Mr. Torres, we probably need a motion on that if we want to go forward with this timeline.
I'll make a motion.
All right, I got a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gray. We have any discussion on that? Anything you want to see changed or? Again, I think it's a pretty good timeline, to be honest with you, as far as, I mean, it helps that we meet twice a month, and I think this is, I think Ben, you've done a fantastic job of lining this out, so, you know, it's a good timeline, but again, if we get into something and we see we need to change it, I think we, as a board, we can, look to change it, but this is a good.
That was the, I mentioned 3 things that were, and the third thing was the actual application deadline. That was the other big thing that will be sent out, so everybody knows when they apply.
Thank you. Mr. Gibbons.
The only one was the NA, it was on like the community meetings.
Yep,
Is that one struck from this then?
yes, it's,
So we're not doing community meetings?
That was part of, I think that was part of Plan 2. Mr. Gibbons.
Plan 3.
Okay, Plan 3, okay, gotcha. And if you had said,
You don't get the same, believe it or not, you don't get the same participation. Since we've started doing the online survey, it asks the same questions that the community meetings ask.
Mhm.
And we get great responses from the online survey. I mean, we've done, we did Johnson City last year, the year before, we got over 900 responses on the online survey. So I mean, people are more comfortable sitting at their home, or maybe when they have a break at their work, they can complete the survey instead of, everybody's busy. You got kids, church, you name it, there's stuff going on at night.
The online survey, is that part of option 1,
That's, part of Plan 2,
plan 2?
and the reason being, with the survey going outside of the district, you have
Okay.
qualified people in the district.
any other discussion? If not, then all in favor of option 1, as far as the timeline, say aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passed. Mr. Torres, anything else?
No, sir, I'll certainly send you an email, it'll contain a copy of the timeline, Next steps, I'll send you some samples as far as characteristics that go on the line. The only other thing to be thinking about would be, I would suggest is just salary range.
How do you suggest that be discussed? Does that need to be discussed at our next work session, most likely between
Yes,
this?
and it's not necessarily a board vote, but it's more of a, what do we feel like we're gonna offer? What we can do, we can send you a comparison to similarly sized districts within the state of Tennessee. And then we can also send you a regional comparison with all the districts within your area. So you have both of those side by side that you can look at. And then we'll send you, some information on average salaries in East, Middle, and West Tennessee.
Sounds good. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea that we can get that, I don't know, we can share kind of our salary ranges right now, what we have currently for Dr. Combs. Is that,
Sure, what his current salary is?
well, not right here, but I'm saying it's with the board.
Yes.
Correct, so we can compare what we've got. Benefits too. And, yeah, benefits as well, so, yeah. And we'll have to, because we need to line that criteria out before we send it.
That's gonna be a question people ask,
So we'll just need to be ready for
even,
that.
even internally. they're gonna-
Absolutely, yeah, I wanna know how much I'm gonna get paid as well, right, I agree. Any other questions for Mr. Torres? Anything to clear up, or y'all, we're good
Your
right
shit's
now?
coming down.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I put a card on the inside, call me. If you got questions, if you get home and you say, hey, I should have asked that, call me. By all means, we're here to help you all. So.
Thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Safe travel.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You driving home?
All right, well, big decision. Big plate, but thank y'all for getting that through, and we'll continue on, right? It's good to have a plan, I like to have a plan, and I'm glad we're able to do that. I'm thankful for TSBA as well to help us with that. So, we're gonna move on with the agenda tonight. If you look into your agenda, we got the consent agenda. Do we have anything that needs to be pulled out of there? I will say, I'd like to pull the revised textbook adoption committee out. That probably really needs to be up under the instructional report, Dr. Byrd, so if y'all are okay with that, I'd like to pull that out and then vote that at a different time, are y'all, is that okay? All right, so minus item D, do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Motion, second by Mr. McCann. All right, any discussion? Mr. Bell made the motion. Okay, any discussion on that? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, consent agenda passed. All right. Mr. McCann, this is a policy committee update?
Yep, policy committee met at 5:30 in Dr. Bird's office. But, let's see, we just had 3 that were in our packet, 3 different policies, and it was just change a little language that got us in line with what TSBA's policy are. We reviewed and approved, or reviewed and recommended, but we'll need a first reading on those. And then we also, first half of section 5 was up, but we didn't have anything come in, we didn't really discuss anything. Next month, it'll be the second half of section 5, so if anybody has anything they wanna submit, just send it to Dr. Byrd and we'll talk about it.
Great.
That's all I got.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. McCann. So let's go ahead and we'll, take a motion on, section 5, policy 5.10 through 5.403. We have a motion to approve those policies. Motion by Mr. Gray, we have a second by Mr. McCann. Any discussion on those? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That was an aye, not an opposed. I didn't give him enough time to say that. Thank you, that motion passed. As far as the first reading, we'll have to do a second reading, but do we have a motion for the first reading of these policy revisions? Motion by Mr. Edwards, we got a second by Mr. Liddell. Any discussion on those? Questions, concerns? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passed. Thank you, Mr. McCann. Dr. Burke, instructional report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Reminds me of the COVID days when we had
Yeah,
those
right.
virtual meetings and everybody was off
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Thank goodness we don't have those.
Yes, thank goodness. All right, in your online folders, you'll see a copy, in my folder, of a You Trust press release, and I think you'll remember at TSBA conference in November, You Trust presented Dr. Combs with a check for $39,600, and that is grant funding, and we use that to, fund our Employees of the Year billboard, which I'm gonna show you a picture of it. Will you click over in the black area for me? And then it should go, if not, there it goes. This is what our new billboard will look like, and when we put that up soon, on Highway 51, it's northbound in Brighton, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm sure most have, but the grant money that we get from U-Trust we use to fund that, as well as staff appreciation incentives for this semester. I'd also like to highlight some additional employees tonight. They're on the billboard, but I'll show you individually. These are our district level Teachers of the Year, pre-K through 4. We have Miss Leah Arthur from Brighton Elementary School. 5 through 8, we have Miss Stephanie Stewart. In the middle, she's at Brighton Middle School. And then 9 through 12, we have Miss Cindy McLean, who is a CTE teacher at Covington High School. We also have the Student Choice winner is Sanaya Fields from Munford High School. Our Novice Teacher of the Year is Molly Dickinson from Covington High School. Assistant Principal of the Year, Miss Tamika Poindexter from Brighton Elementary School. And we are obviously just overjoyed to have these folks in our district, and we just appreciate their hard work and what they do, and we're proud to honor them publicly tonight at this meeting. You all are invited, and you'll see in your online folder, there's an invitation to a breakfast reception honoring our district level award winners on Wednesday morning, January 14th at 8:30. It will be here in the boardroom right before our principals meeting. So we'll have a breakfast reception from about 8:30 to 9. At 9 o'clock, we'll give some remarks about these remarkable people and tell you how great they are, because they are. We would love to have our board join us as your schedule allows. TSBA designated School Board Appreciation Week the last week of January. It's the 25th through 31st, and we do have a board work session that week, and so we will be celebrating you all during that work session, but we wanted to publicly acknowledge the work that this group does for the students and staff of Tipton County Schools, and I think I can speak for every employee of Tipton County Schools that we appreciate what you do, but we will celebrate you during that work session at the end of January. But we just thank you for the service that you do for our kids and for our staff, for our teachers. And then the last thing I have that was pulled out of the consent agenda, textbook adoption list for Section E was released, and when you all approved back in September, I believe, the textbook adoption committee members, we did not have middle school on there, but we need to add middle school. And so there were 3 middle school STEM courses that were on the adoption list, and our middle schools will be offering those courses in 26-27, so we need to add those additional members that you see listed in my folder. And Mr. Chairman, I will need a motion for approval of that list.
Y'all see that in your folder? All right, so need a motion for that, to pass that textbook adoption, or the committee additions there.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. McCants.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Bell. Any discussion there? Any questions for Dr. Byrd? Wonderful. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
That motion passed. Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Dr. Byrd.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Fields, operational report.
I don't really have a report, but I do want to commend the board, Mr. Chair, you and the board for doing a fantastic job. I don't think people realize what it takes to accomplish what you guys have done really all year. And while I'm up, I just want to give a shout out to our nutrition and transportation department. I was ready to field probably 50 calls on the first day. I didn't get a single call. So our nutrition team and transportation
I will second that notion there. I agree. Will and his team were up there the first day, and especially at the new schools, but I'm sure overall district-wise, they did a fantastic job. That whole staff did a fantastic job of just directing traffic, you know, Chief Turner, it went without, you would think, that was probably one of the nervous things that I told Doc when I got up there, I was pretty nervous coming in. Other than the media being in the face, right? That I was nervous driving up, because I was like, what's this gonna be like this morning, right? But the planning that this team did, it was fantastic, so I agree, it was wonderful. Sabrina's team, yeah, I agree, yes, it was wonderful, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Man, it's good, thank you, Mr. Fields. Mr. Bennett, here's an update. This is the easiest thing you got all day.
It is. And I don't have much of a report, because to piggyback on Coach Fields' comment about the opening day, you know, it's a lot different opening up a new school when kids are going to a brick and mortar than it is opening up two years ago when they're going into a temporary situation that no one understands what we're even up against. So hats off to the administration over at CES and CMS and to the board for again being prepared to, you know, to get these kids and the hard decisions that were made throughout the time to get these kids put into a permanent situation. So it's nice to go in the community now and look at them and say we did it. You know, it's been 2 years, or do you think we will? Can we really? I don't know that we'll, you know, I don't think you can. So it's definitely been it's been a good time to be a part of something much bigger than what we are all individually. So now that the day one's behind us, we get to focus on other projects. And so we do have a list of capital projects that have already been approved that we are in the process of getting vetted. We've already started getting the cafeteria tables delivered. We've got more coming on the 19th. So we'll have more cafeteria tables that are getting changed out. Clearly that's a big deal, guys. I mean, these kids see, you know, these administrators, staff, students see the changes. And it feels good to see how they appreciate, you know, what you guys approve for them to be able to get. And we'll accept the challenges of what else it is that you guys see and vision for, you know, that we need. Because with the list is, we still have a large one. You know, we've still got a lot of air conditioners. We've still got a lot of decisions to make on how to continue to improve the district in whole. And as we continue to set standards, as far as with new things, we're gonna want to continue to get new things, so we'll find ways, I'm sure, to fill that gap. So I don't really have much as far as an update, other than I will have some vetted projects here very soon, and you'll see some, you know, construction activities going, whether it be painting gymnasiums, or cafeterias, or ALC. And then I know that there's some safety stuff that we'll be discussing here in the next work session. That'll be a, you know, much, you know, in depth. But I'll save that for Dr. Combs. I know he's much more, you know, in the weeds as far as where we are exactly on that one. So thank you guys for the past 2 years to be a part of something that has been exhausting, but at the same time, you see little kids coming to school. I'm not an educator, you know, I've never been there to see a school, but whenever you watch the genuine smiles and the excitements as they come into something, I will say it's priceless. It was cool. It was exciting to see the kids run in and hear the wows and the giggles and the laughs, and you know, I've heard them laugh and giggle up there, but I've heard them, and it's just because, you know, they were all trying to make the best of it. This over here was, you know, wow, this really did happen. So, do you guys have any questions for me? Karen?
Have they worked anything out with the city of Covington on the, what do they call it, pickleball courts?
So I really don't know the status of that particular project. I know you're speaking of the temporary slab. Our scope of work is down to the concrete, as far as what will happen with the city of Covington and what they'll do moving forward.
Has that started? They're still there, or?
No, well, we're currently dismantling the tent. Let me back up. We're going through and removing furniture that we could possibly use. There's a lot of furniture that came from the tornado schools, which will get discarded with the contractor whenever they go in and do the demolition. But we went through today, and we've gone through over the last couple of days and selecting furniture that we can repurpose. Some of the stuff, if I send it to any of y'all schools, y'all be sitting at me laughing like, what y'all show up with this for? So, but like I said, we're going through and trying to fill some wish list. I know that we sent a big, I think a shipment to Montford Middle, got some desks today. I think some more is going to Charger Academy. We're trying to fill some gaps, you know, to where with some furniture that's worth saving, so.
Mr. Gill, I think City Covenant I think they retained, maybe A2H to do that
Correct.
design.
Right.
Work for that, you know, since they designed the slabs, I believe, I think that's where they're at. I could be wrong, but, and then, like I said, we'll take the buildings down, we'll get it, and I think from there, you know, it's on them.
But they're agreeable with us leaving the slabs where they're.
Yeah, they voted on that.
Yeah,
Oh, they did that.
They
That's
voted
right.
down that,
Yeah.
I think in December.
That's right.
Yeah.
What is your expected timeline for getting the buildings down? What do you think?
We have to, it's not really unexpected. It's kind of like building a school, you know, we don't have a choice.
Alright.
So I've got to have the interior demolition done, completed by February the 6th. Sunbelt comes in the February the 9th, I think it is, and they'll start dismantling the structures themselves. They're actually showing up Monday to start, discharging and pulling out the HVAC, all of what we call HVAC rail on the back of the school. So they'll disconnect all of that. All of that will begin and hopefully be completed next week. So week 1, HVAC leaves out of the way. We finish getting out what items that it is that we're gonna salvage. And the demo contractor mobilizes. They begin demolition, on the 19th. That gives our tech enough time to go through and remove some cameras. There's some items that we own up there that we've gotta give our guys enough time to go through and get out, because technology's taking up most of the new construction, the new deal's taking most of our technology's team's effort to get that up and running. So the 19th is when we'll turn it over to the demolition, and then they have until February the 6th to be completely done, swept up, out of the way, so somebody can come in at that point and start taking down the structures. From that point, I mean, they'll probably, I don't guess, probably be a 2-week, maybe a week project. I don't know. At that point, our contract, we have no more fees. We have no more costs associated with rentals after that. So that's the reason I say I don't have I got a firm date. So we don't have any reoccurring expenses that, you know, are incurred up there.
So,
January be end of.
That's correct. That's right.
any other questions or anything?
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank y'all, and I appreciate all your guys' support throughout all this. I know that this is, you know, you guys had to make a lot of hard financial decisions in order to keep this train rolling, but, it was nice to have to be partnered with a good team, so, and it was nice to be, you know, I appreciate the opportunity to be the liaison, if you will, between the two. It was a wealth of knowledge in that project.
Hunter, I'll say to you and to Jamie, fantastic. I mean, you went above and beyond your scope of work, your job duties, you know, so thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything that y'all did, you know, for shouldering the burden on, I mean, so much from both schools, so thank you. Cause you gotta do your day-to-day job too, right?
I will say, I have a good staff, guys. I got a good team, and you know what I do. I mean, a lot of us get to carry the badge of honor, if you will, and get the recognition. I do appreciate it, but not without a team that I had behind me that let me go do it. I mean, I have a maintenance staff and, you know, that allowed me to go be a part of this and focus while they continue to keep the daily grinds and keep me abreast of any main issues, if you would.
I don't know how you kept your hair from not going gray, so you did a
I
great
got
job.
to
you
get
know.
you some
Oh,
gray.
okay, all right. Now you get some gray. Thank you. To Melissa and Kevin too, I wanna say thank y'all for y'all's work too, because during the time that most were off, the week of Christmas and after, they stayed and worked and got the new schools up and going. They did a fantastic job. Thank y'all. There's zero chance that they would have won and 2 would have went off without a hiccup, without them being there, and their tech crew, so thank y'all very much. Appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it. No, thank you guys.
Appreciate it, bud. All right, finance, chief. Before Chief gets up here, I do want to say, Chief is he has been elected, I guess is the right word, as the president of the GFOA. He is the president of the GFOA. I apologize, I missed that. That press release came out this past week, and so we are proud of him for being that president of that. And so, Chief, congratulations on your new position. So,
Thank you, I
well,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all supporting me and allowing me to do that. And I echo the sentiments of my team that's spoken before, and I won't repeat everything that's been said, but obviously, you know, it was an exciting time to get into the schools, and I echo their sentiments. I do have to say, witnessed a number of people get a mic stuck in their face, and our chairman did a wonderful job. I almost thought he and the reporter had swapped the questions, because he didn't miss a beat, and, but she had, he was quick on his feet and did a great job.
I was just upset they only used 2-3 sound bites. I mean, I talked for 10 minutes, you know, and I'm like, wait a second. I said, wait, you know, she took the credit. No, I'm kidding. It was fine. It was
Did
actually.
she ever say that's enough?
It could have been worse. Let's just.
I know, they'll let you talk as long as you want to,
Yeah.
but they're looking for those sound bites,
Exactly.
but he did a great job, and he did talk a lot longer than he got credit for on the television, but that is the news, so. Anyway, without further ado, if you look in your folders, the only thing I have, ladies and gentlemen, tonight are the presentation of the financial statements, for the 4 funds, and they're in your packet. I do, acknowledge that you probably noticed that our TISA payment is about $1 million higher than it normally is, and that is because in December, we received our TISA outcomes payment, and that came in just under $1 million this year, and we'll go into that in greater detail as we do our mid-year reviews and our work sessions coming up, as we prepare amendments and review for the mid-year. But Mr. Chairman, I just have no other business other than to review the financial reports.
Thank you. Any questions for Chief tonight? Clarifications or anything? If not, then thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank
Thank you. I don't have anything else, board, as far as other business. Dr. Bird, do you have any other business or anything that you want to discuss, or Dr. Bird?
Yeah, just on his behalf, I think he would say this if he were here, we're so excited for the new schools opening this week. We appreciate all of you who were able to be there Monday when the teachers were there for the breakfast that the board provided to them. And I know the teachers were appreciative, but, just like Hunter said, just seeing the kids come in, they were so excited. Their little smiles and the big kids too. And, I did talk to some of the middle school kids at lunch asking, hey, what do you think, and, oh yeah, it's great. One girl, she was like, yeah, it's still school though. Yes, it's still school. They were very excited, and I just hats off. I don't want to start naming people because I'll leave someone off, but just to everyone from maintenance to everyone, just who helped, and for Dr. Combs' leadership, y'all, you know what he's done the past 2.5 years, and so our hats off to him as well. But this board, thank you to everybody, and we're just ready to move forward now.
Thank you, Dr. Bird. Chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, I did have one other item of business. Shout out to Cheryl who kept me in line to make sure that I didn't get messed up here, because Ms. Croson would be after me if she had to wait another month. But inside your packet, also inside the finance packet, is the request from Austin P. Elementary School, where Ms. Heather Croson is requesting authority from the board to apply for a credit card in the school's name. We've done this with a couple of other schools. They have to have the board's authority. So Ms. Chairman's request tonight is to allow Heather Croson on behalf of Austin P. Elementary School to apply for a credit card in order to conduct internal school business according to policy and procedure.
That's good. We got a motion.
I'll make it.
Motion by Mr. Gray, got a second by Mr. Lavelle. Any discussion on that? If not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed.
So before I sit down, Cheryl, did I do okay? I don't have anything else. All right. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anything else, any other business, board? If not, then we're gonna conclude our business tonight. So, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I hadn't signed up for comment.
You did? Oh, yeah. Well, Ms.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm sorry, I didn't see, I didn't see that. Did we get a, do you want to, the only way I can allow is it something of reference to the agenda tonight?
Yes, it's
All right, then that's fine. I'm gonna allow it tonight. All right, I'll give you a few minutes. You wanna address the board here?
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. Let's put you right here. No, you're good. We just didn't see that, so that's fine. But
I'll keep it
it's an easy night tonight, so you're good.
My name's Jessica Miller. I'm a parent of 3 children in Tipton County Schools in Mumford. My comments tonight are in reference to the search for a new superintendent that's relevant to the agenda. I'm gonna get to it eventually, but that's the point of what I'm here for. First, I want to sincerely congratulate Dr. Combs, this board, the administration, and teachers and contractors on the reopening of Covington Elementary and Middle School. What you accomplished under immense pressure was no small feat. It required coordination, responsibility, and care, and it showed. I only have a couple of minutes, so I'm going to try my best to get to the point. Like many engaged parents in the county, I have been reading recently the anonymous op-eds published online by a user known as TN Patriot. While I was already aware through experience and observation of concerning entanglements surrounding Tipton County Public Schools and the Tipton County Republican Party, seeing these issues laid out so explicitly so it was deeply troubling. I'm appalled and angry that our children, their schools would be treated as political leverage, not as places of learning, safety, and community, but as tools in a broader partisan agenda. Our schools do not belong in any political party, they belong to the children of this county, all of them. And I expect this board to continue protecting that principle loudly and unequivocally. I say all this to boil down to Dr. Combs has sadly announced his retirement. And from this meeting tonight, I know you all will begin the journey of the search for his replacement. I have reached out and had many conversations with you all over the past year, or even few years in some cases. The ones I speak to regularly, I have no doubt in my mind, no matter which letter is beside your name on a ballot, that you put the truth and good intentions on the forefront of any decision you make for our children. My youngest is in the 5th grade, which means I have a direct interest with you guys for another 7 years. I want to take this chance tonight to publicly state that I am praying every day that the search for Dr. Combs' replacement is led by truth, light, and well-being of our kids and the best intentions for public schools in Tipton County without any dark influence, threat, or bargaining done behind closed doors. I am pleased by the discussions and process introduction that was started tonight, but I want on the record tonight to also serve as a promise that parents like me are watching. And I personally will turn over every stone, make every FOIA request, make every call to find answers, and follow any path that might not seem right to me to get answers if decisions are made in the dark. My job for the next few months will make sure that anything done in the dark is brought to the light. Politics don't belong in the schools, and decisions shouldn't be based on which political party here has the most taxpayer farm subsidy money or influence.
Thank you, Ms. Miller, we appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Board, thank you for your time, appreciate it, we have a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Edwards, we have a second. Second by Mr. Bell, all in favor say aye.
Uh,
All right. Y'all have a wonderful evening, we are adjourned. Thank you.